Okay, so on with one of the new version 17 features for Resolve in editing, and that is the introduction of a traditional proxy workflow. Now, this is a big deal because optimized media was kind of okay, but it was limited. It's basically proxies with fewer options. But we're going to take a look at how to make a proper proxy workflow work within Resolve, and it's quite simple to do. Now, a proxy is like optimized media, just a file that stands in for another file. If I'm an editor with a MacBook, I can't edit with native 4K Red Raw or 8K Red Raw or Panasonic Raw or whatever it is that this Netflix production has produced, or let's just pretend that that's the case. So I need to find a way of working with this material. And if I make proxies, which are just, DNX36 or just a simple DNX codec, that's much easier for my laptop to work with as opposed to the 8K Panasonic RAW whatever from a Varicam. So it's good to get this down, and this may also help you if you're getting slow playback on the H.264 files that I've supplied to you in this project, or in any of these projects really. This can also help you as well. Now, there's a little bit of setup first, so we're going to hit the gear in the lower right of the screen. And we're going to go to Master Settings, and we're going to scroll down until we find Optimized Media and Render Cache. And this, as well as the next setting of working folders, these are what we're going to use to set up our proxy workflow before we go ahead and we generate our proxies. So the first two are what concern us right now. Proxy Media Resolution, choose automatically. Proxy Media Format. So we have a few different options here. We have original, half, quarter, 1/8, 1/16, and automatic. Usually we go for either original or half. Anything below half is a bit muddy and is difficult to see, and what you'll get is clients and directors saying that they can't really make out what you've been doing. So most of the time I choose either original or half. If it's HD or 2K, original. If it's 4K, then half. So let's pretend we have a 4K project in here. Next, we have Proxy Media Format, and I can choose H.264 and any number of DNxHR codecs. HQX and 444, they're too big to realistically be proxies. A proxy is meant to be smaller, so we're going to go with either SQ or LB. SQ is standard quality, and LB is low bandwidth. DNxHR LB is the typical DNX proxy codec, whereas SQ is kind of one higher. It can become a little self-defeating if we only make something slightly lighter and still take up a load of space here. So I'm going to choose LB for this one. So I've got half resolution, DNxHR, low bandwidth. That's what my proxy files are going to be. Everything else here is more to do with the render cache and the optimized media. We cover those as they become relevant, and we've already covered the optimized media. So now we have working folders, and just like with the optimized media, I need to choose a location for it. So proxy generation location, I can hit browse, and what I typically do is I make a folder for each project. Each project should have its own individual proxy folder because I want to be able to have control over those files. We don't get rid of proxies by going through a manager and saying clear optimized media or doing anything like that. What we do is we actually find the files, and those are files that we can take onto another machine. So we can very easily bring this project between workstations because it's actually quite easy to do that now. We just have the proxies and we have the media, we plug it in and the proxies are there. We don't have to go through the generate optimized media step all over again, which was the big problem with the optimized media workflow in Resolve beforehand. So I'm going to choose my Jim Candy backup folder, and I'm going to hit select folder. And now I know where my proxies are going. This is another way to accidentally fill up your boot drive if you're not careful, because like with the cache files and the gallery stills, they go to your installation location. They go to the same folder into which Resolve was originally installed by default, and if you don't change that, then it's going to start filling up your boot drive really quickly, so you should be aware of that. We'll hit save. And now I just want to generate proxies for these files. So I'm just going to select these, right click, and choose Generate Proxy Media. And then Resolve will do its thing. Now these are all linked to proxies. And if I go up to my playback options, I can have either used optimized media if available, or use proxy media if available. If use proxy media if available is highlighted, is checked on, then it will automatically use proxies for all files that it can locate. Now, if I already have proxies generated, or I'm moving this project between workstations, I have to relink my proxy files, because what happens is that Resolve only has the last known location of these proxies. If I move workstations and it moves from my, one of my internal drives to an internal drive on a different workstation, it doesn't know how to automatically find the proxies, so we have to relink them if we're going to migrate workstations with this project. To do that, I just select the clips, I right click, and I choose Link Proxy Media. And when that happens, it's going to ask me where should I be looking. I'm going to go to my Resolve Scratch folder, and now these are linked to proxies and they're okay. It can be a little bit odd because you don't get an immediate visual indicator of what is linked to a proxy, but you can find that in the list view where all the metadata is present. If I right click and I highlight proxies and proxy media path, I just need to make sure I get these in the right place. Where's proxy media path? I'll bring that over. What I can then see for each of these clips, here's the proxy, here's the resolution, and here's where the media actually is in each case. So I do have to go into list view if I'm going to look at the proxy information regarding these clips. There's not just a little icon or a little toggle switch like there is in Premiere Pro, which would be a better way of doing it. At the moment, your proxy toggle switch is up here, which is use proxy media if available, and then you have to check it out in list mode to see what resolution your proxies are and where they are. One thing I should also add is that I don't see a way to bring proxies in first and then link online media to them. Resolve appears to miss that as of right now, and I'm hoping in a short-term update they'll change that, because that's quite a big part of working with proxies. Is I could send the proxies to someone else and they could edit using just those, then I can reconnect them to the camera raw media on my end. But as of yet, I don't see a way to do that, and Resolve's documentation is not been released for version 17 yet. So if that gets updated, I will update this lecture. So that's basically the proxy workflow. It's very similar to the optimized media workflow, except it just makes it a lot easier to migrate projects between workstations. And that's essentially it. So go ahead and click on through to the next lecture.